It's pretty easy to recognize blatantly prejudiced comments, but there are times when certain words are used to make it a little less obvious and a lot harder to spot. These smaller, often overlooked moments of prejudice are called microaggressions. So in this video, we're going to explore and identify microaggressions and how to determine if or when they're worth responding to. What can microaggressions look like? Well, for starters, these are some examples of everyday verbal and nonverbal digs. Asking to touch or making comments about a Black or African American person's hair. Telling a person of color that they are so articulate. Repeatedly misgendering trans or gender nonconforming persons. Making or laughing at a joke that reinforces racial, religious, gender, or any other identity stereotypes. How to address microaggressions. Before jumping into any kind of response, it's a good idea to ask yourself the following questions. What happened? Since microaggressions can be subtle in nature, they can be difficult to identify in the moment. If you have a gut feeling that something isn't right, you may want to run the situation by a trusted friend for more insight. However, if you think the situation warrants a response right away, ask yourself the next question. Is this worth responding to? In an ideal world, every injustice would receive a quick and proper response. However, our world is far from perfect, and we don't always have the capacity to address every microaggression we experience or witness. Only you will know whether or not it's worth speaking up. If you're worried your response may jeopardize your safety or your well-being, then you may want to walk away, and that is okay. But if letting the comments slide compromises your standards, you may want to respond, which brings us to our next question. How will you respond? If you decide to respond, here are some options. Ask for clarification, empathize, and then explain how you learned better. Be direct and tell them how it made you feel. In a group setting, suggest the use of more inclusive language. Listen, it would be awesome if every time we called out people for microaggressions, they learned and grew from the experience, but we know that's not how life works. Don't let that discourage you from having these difficult conversations if you feel a situation warrants it. It's important that victims of microaggression seek support after the incident. If you've been on the receiving end of a microaggression, please make sure to reach out to people you trust or support. You can check out your school's diversity center or reach out to the Racial Equality Support Line.